Um, I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I think that there are a lot of moments in our life which are important, and I think that sometimes people live for a long while before understanding what's important in life. And when they do understand, they imagine that it's possible to pass this wisdom to their children, which is actually a funny thought because you always learn from your own experience much more than you learn from somebody else's experience. But this said, I don't know, whenever I'm trying to make cinema, I don't start from having like very precise, big questions about life expressed into words. I think that what's good about cinema is when it manages to speak about the complexity and ambiguity of life using very small things. If you know precisely what is the message of the film and you could express it into words, you should rather write a book. What I like about cinema is when things become a bit ambiguous from the attitude, from the situation, from the general meaning of all these things placed together. But in order to have this, you have to respect a certain kind of cinema making. But, it started from several places, but first of all, I wanted to make a film about aging and to make a film about parenting and to make a film about this relationship in society between compromise and corruption, and to make this film about how difficult it is today to understand which is the right things to say to your children. Because when you reach this age and you're a parent and you're having children and you notice how society is today, well, actually, sometimes it's not that easy to decide about what's useful to tell them. What will you be doing? Will you be telling them the wonderful things about how the world should be and hoping that they will have the energy to change it? Or will you teach them like practical things to survive in the world that is, which is not as beautiful as we want to present it to children when they're very small? So, this is, I think, a dilemma that more or less all parents are having. But as you see in the film, I'm trying to do quite complex things. And as much as, the theme and the subject are important for a film, I hope that my cinema respects this kind of complexity of life. And I'm always trying to have like a portion of life brought to screen with um, all the complex aspects inside. It's really difficult to generalize and to say that this is the way the world is. I'm always trying to speak about the story and to speak about a specific case and to speak about what are the complex things in which he made his decisions, what are the circumstances. But at the same time, it's true to say that the story speaks a little bit about the state of the society and the world today. And I'm not only referring to my own country, it speaks about the way people behave in general. It speaks about how easily people abandon all these wonderful values that they seem to share until there's the smallest problem. And when the small problem appears, you will pretty much abandon everything that you thought you were really a fan of and try to solve it. And why is this happening? It's happening because you never invested the right energy to try to straighten things next to you enough to make societies really work very well based on these values which are profound. And you always thought that, just focusing and concentrating on your own life would be okay. And you don't understand that, things which happen in society will get back to you. Unless you manage to do something to solve some social aspects, you will be forced to make decisions in a society which is not so much based on merit and on honesty as much as you hoped for. And this is one of the themes that I think are important in nowadays society and are present in all the Western world. And therefore I thought they are important enough for me to make a film about all this. Uh, well, first of all, I need to say something about awards. I was very lucky to get all these awards, but as many awards as I got, I know at the same time that awards are not necessarily the precise value of a film. Awards always depend on the context, and they are very good because people become curious and they will develop the film and follow it. But actually, what's much more important than awards is to make sure that you make a film which would be watchable 10 years from now. And actually, this is much more important than, I don't know, to make sure that you got something which got an award today. And I'm always trying to think about this. After you watch this film once, would you be able to watch it again? Would this have any kind of value 10 years from now? Would you see the way it's made? Have I made decisions which are very easygoing and very manipulative in the film? Then all the awards in the world are not so important. It's important to make sure that you work, I don't know, as honest as you can in that moment of your development as a filmmaker, even if you might discover, I don't know, 5 years from now that actually you have changed your ideas and you can work even in a more radical and honest way. But it's important to be honest to that moment when you produce the film. And Cannes was really very, very important in my life because we're talking now because I was in Cannes and because I got this Palme d'Or and because all these awards. But actually I don't like when people associate the life of a film with the awards that he got. I think that if we think about the most important films in the history of cinema, nobody remembered if they got any awards. And maybe some of them never got any awards anyway, and still they are good. So what should be important is to make sure that you're making a good piece of cinema, and then, you know, they might screen it in Cannes, and this is already a great award. They select 20 films out of 2,500, and this is enough of an award. If you have the chance to just get another one for the jury, you know, you can be very lucky. But actually what's the most important thing is to make sure that people relate to the film, understand the film, and discover at the end that, you know, the film speaks about them as well.